So F1 is not about something that you would hit on your keyboard. It's instead the movie about Formula One racing, apparently. This was directed by the great Joseph Kosinski, who brought you Top Gun Maverick, a movie that a lot of people have classified as the movie that saved cinema after COVID. And it stars Brad Pitt as hotshot Sonny Hayes, who in the 1990s was Formula One's most promising driver until an accident on the track nearly ended his career, breaking 3 bones in his neck. And 30 years later, the owner of a struggling Formula One team played by Javier Bardem convinces Sonny to return to racing and become the best in the world. And he's driving along the team's hotshot rookie played by Damson Idris. Sonny soon learns that the road to redemption is not something you can travel alone. In a sense, a guy with a massive ego is discovering that there is no I in team. Now, I had a lot of glowing things to say about Top Gun Maverick when it initially came out, and in the handful of times that I've rewatched it since its initial release, I think I can comfortably say that that is better than the original. And I know a lot of people have a lot of nostalgia with the original Top Gun, but a lot of why that movie works so much has to do with Joseph Kosinski and his direction. So when I found out he was behind F1, I knew I needed to see it, if not just for Brad Pitt's involvement alone. And Brad Pitt is an actor who I've loved for a long time, but I knew that this movie was going to be juiced with adrenaline. And sure enough, F1 is exactly that. This movie is filled to the brim with excitement. And this is coming from someone who doesn't even follow Formula One racing, not even really into racing as a sport. But there's a lot of folks out there, and I have friends who are into this sort of thing. They take this crap seriously. And this movie understands that, and this movie is doing its damnedest to make sure it appeases the fans of F1. And my God, Joseph Kosinski does such a great job directing this movie, doesn't he? I think all of the technical pieces that are put together with this, with his direction, Aaron Kruger's screenplay, albeit a bit cheesy at times, and there are definitely a few moments where there's fireworks that are bursting all around the racetrack, and it feels very much like a Bruckheimer production, which it is. I mean, just the editing and the sound mixing, and just, like, this is a movie that needs to be seen on the big screen. You also have DP Claudio Miranda returning to collaborate with Kosinski. He also worked on Top Gun Maverick with him. The racing scenes and the way they're shot, like, it makes you feel like you're not only getting a big glimpse of everything going on, but this production team does a great job of making you feel like you're in the cockpit, in the driver's seat. And like, I mean, my words don't do it justice. F1 needs to be seen on the big screen for sure. Now, I gotta talk about Brad Pitt. This is a guy who, again, I've said many times, he's one of my favorites. It feels like, for me, him as Sonny Hayes is just him playing himself. There's a lot of Brad Pitt-isms that are thrown into the mix with this dialogue. But then again, this character is very interesting because the script teaches you a lot about him, but yet this is a character that is very troubled. He's an enigma. He doesn't really want to talk about this stuff, and he's just passionate about racing. And once you figure out that a broken neck almost ended his career, like any sport, like anyone who watches sports, anyone who gets involved with that knows that that is a devastating injury. And I don't know how big of a spoiler that is, but Brad Pitt plays this so great. His chemistry with everybody in this movie is phenomenal. Across the board, I can really pinpoint one weak link here. Javier Bardem has a smaller role in this as the team leader, and it's very unlike Javier Bardem to be playing a likable businessman. And I appreciate this performance for playing against his type. You also have Kerry Condon in this as the technical director of the team. She has been someone I have adored for so long. Really, really great to see her in a big blockbuster like this, killing it. Damson Idris as Sonny's teammate, Pierce, so great. And there are loads of clever jabs that these two throw at one another. You can tell that this is very much a friendly rivalry. And Damson Idris doesn't really appreciate that his teammate's slot is being taken up by what he considers a has-been. But there's a lot that these two learn from one another. And again, I dare not dig any deeper into spoilers, but it's pretty powerful. Albeit riddled with some pretty funny one-liners, especially involving Pierce's mother. She had me in stitches. Sarah Niles did a great job playing that character. And you can tell that they're mother and son, for sure. All in all, F1 and the technicals that went into this movie, the collaboration that went into Formula One, especially if you see this in the theater, it will send goosebumps racing up and down your spine just hearing the whir of those engines. And Brad Pitt is somebody who is extremely charismatic and carries this movie. Everybody involved in this on the acting side is phenomenal. Do I say that this is another Oscar contender? We're only halfway through the year? I don't know yet. But with how lauded Top Gun Maverick was and just how great in quality this was next to Top Gun Maverick, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. I do have a couple of issues with this movie here and there. Like I said, this is a Bruckheimer production, so it's going to feel very cheesy. And sometimes those tones don't really match a lot when the dramatic moments come in. Because when the drama comes into the conflict, it is really compelling guys. But then again, on the flip side, for a big blockbuster like this, sometimes the drama can feel pretty out of place. There was one scene where I audibly just kind of gasped out, "Oh no," once it happened. And I was just thinking, like, is this how we're going to get to the ending that I think is going to happen? And we still get to predictable ending, but the road to get there, I got to give this movie credit. It kept me guessing as the movie kept going. But for this movie and this story, the predictable ending is where I wish the movie didn't go. I kind of wish the ending went in a different direction than it did. But besides those gripes that I have, F1 is phenomenal. I highly recommend you check it out on the big screen. Even if you're not a fan of Formula One racing, you're going to find a lot to love with this. I'm going to give F1 an A-. Telling my keyboard to do that as we speak, as I edit this. And I'm not going to hit F1 to fix it. But let me know what you think of F1. Is this your favorite Bruckheimer production that you've seen up to this point? Do you guys watch F1 racing? If so, what are your thoughts on it? Like, how excited do you get when you see F1? I love getting in front of this camera and talking all things in the cinematic world. Hit that subscribe button if you're new. Tap on that thumbs up as well. That would be greatly appreciated. And stay tuned for more videos hitting this channel very soon as we are reaching the halfway point of 2025. The summer season is continuing to kick into another gear. Loads of big releases coming up in the month of July especially. And those of you who have been keeping score at home, the last 3 years on this channel, my favorite movie of the year has come from the month of July. So let's see if that pattern continues. Thank you so much again for your continued support, my friends. Y'all are the best. And with all that being said, Back Talk, commence.